right, Beer Night followers? This is episode 22 of Beer Night. The double twos.
Utah. Give me two.
Yeah, it's music
So
segment.
hungry to get the accident of a dead rhino.
I know. Music segment of Beer Night. We're gonna talk about our favorite band, the only band we ever fucking really talk about, Metallica. So they just released their newest album, about a month or so ago?
They don't get enough run on YouTube,
No,
do they?
not at all.
Yeah.
A little obscure band here.
Yeah.
Their 11th studio album, 72 Seasons. What do you think about the new album, sir?
I fucking love it, man.
I love it. Huh?
I saw your review.
Saw my
bullshit,
it's crap review.
Bullshit. Like, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. But
that's only after 2 listens to. So, more listens to. I actually love it too now.
it's fucking great.
It's
man.
really good
it's
up there. I'm loving it. Pretty much every track.
Every song to me, I think it's more consistent than Hardwired, which is the album before that.
It is too. I like that.
Hardwired is a great album, but it doesn't have that Man Unkind or Am I Savage song where you skip it. Like to me, every time I listen to it, it's start to finish every song. Are there some songs that are weaker than others? Sure. But I still listen to them because they still have cool parts and stuff that I'm like, this is badass. Honestly, you know what my least favorite song on the album is? Screaming Suicide, which is one of their singles. Yeah, I'm like...
me too. Yeah.
To me, that's my least favorite song.
Yeah?
Like, I feel like... I don't know. I still like it, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the riffs are the least interesting, and what goes on in the song is the least interesting. Everything else kind of bangs a little bit more to me, and I just prefer it. But again, I still don't skip it. I'm listening to the song every time I listen to the album. And the one thing I noticed immediately when listening to the album is that all of the singles that were released to me play much better on the album than they did individually. Within the flow.
Within the flow of it.
Especially the openings, the title track, the
72 Seasons, yeah.
Like I love how it just opens with the bass. That instead of the big long intro.
Like
it just
acoustic intro or whatever they do sometimes.
It flows so much with just bass. Just let's get into it. Let's go. That bass intro is perfect for the opening of an album. It's great. Lux Eterna plays much better to me in the flow of the album.
It's kind of like in the middle of the album too.
Yeah, and it just it just plays better. Like hearing it on its own, it's like, okay, this is cool little song. But within the album, it's like, okay, this is good. It's good. And the other one, towards the end of the album. What's the name?
If Darkness Had a
Darkness
Sun.
Had a Sun. Again, in the flow of the album, much better. When that comes in, that like,
good headbanger.
When I heard it by itself, it was cool. It was definitely cool, but in the flow of the album, again, it's just something. Now it's like, okay, now you're like, like badass. Like it just I don't know. The album just flows and it works really well, and I'm really, really, really satisfied with it.
I like the last song, Inamorata. I think it's called. It's their longest Inamorata. Their longest recording song they've ever recorded. It's good. I love it. I love it.
Great. And
love the new album. It's good stuff.
So there's no ballad.
No ballad
on the album.
It's good. I like no ballads.
You have a ballady type part in Inamorata at the end. That slow section in the middle, but Metallica's always been known for having that, except for Kill 'Em All, of course, having that one like ballad, like epic ballad type song. And even Hardwired had it kind of with Halo on Fire was, and it was, I guess, but it was still not.
It was still pretty heavy.
It was
still
like
fucking good riffs, and it wasn't as ballady.
It wasn't.
Maybe the vocals were a little bit ballady.
The verse was ballady, and so. It was more of a ballad than anything that's on 72 Seasons, which there is none. There's just that one section in Inamorata which kind of invokes that. And normally I really like hearing that out of Metallica. I really like those epic kind of ballad type songs where you have the clean guitar and there's the dynamics, the back and forth, and it kind of builds to a crescendo and just explodes, right? They've always been really great at that. One of the best things that they do. But I'm not missing it on this album. Like it's not there, but it almost doesn't matter, and it's
not needed.
No,
it's a long album too. It's like,
and I'm never bored. Like it just rocks. Like that. It just fucking rocks.
It's a good groovy. Got a lot of cool grooves to it. Almost a little bit like load a little bit, but not as bluesy, but really groovy.
Honestly, you know what? To me, what it calls back to the most is the Black Album.
Yeah.
But with more thrashy elements. It has because the Black Album pretty much abandoned that entirely for the most part. Yeah. But this still has this still has 72 Seasons. It has a couple songs towards the back end that are a little thrashy. Lux Eterna as well, and it's still it has kind of
Mirrors is really good.
Yes. So it has kind of it's like the Black Album. If it had some little bit more thrash elements, but still had the groove and the punchiness of the Black Album and the consistency of the Black Album. That's really the thing is where every song is like, okay, banger, 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 banger. It just never really lets up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be thrash all the way through. Hardwired wasn't thrash all the way through, and people really like that. Right? There's really 2 thrash songs on Hardwired. 2. The first and the last. You have 2 like half
out the bone is
like
amazing.
But and you have like 2 half thrash songs with like Atlas Rise and Moth into Flame. But it's not really a thrash album. Not like Death Magnetic, for example, which is much more of an old school Metallica thrash album, but even then still groovy and lots of variation. So I'm really satisfied with it and I'm really happy with it, and it doesn't disappoint at all.
There you go. There's our little review of 72 Seasons. Real quick before we get into our list here, I am drinking Well-Being.
How's that?
Victory Wheat non-alcoholic beer. It's a sports brew. Hint of orange. I'm ready for this shit to be over with. Is what I'm thinking. Oh, good Lord.
So got 2 more segments.
Not good. I'm getting the hint of orange, which is kind of helping out a little bit, but it sucks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank all of Metallica's opening tracks in order. We'll go from they got 11 studio tracks. We'll go from 11 to number 1.
Okay. You want me to start or you start?
I'll start since you don't even have a fucking list to start with.
I do have a list just in my head. Well, kind of. I'm going to improvise.
Okay. You're very good at that. I'm not. Yeah, I like to know what I'm doing.
I like to improvise. I'm a lead guitar player. I like to go where the moment's taking me.
So this is my number 11 of Metallica's opening tracks. We go Frantic at number 11.
Tick, 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 tock.
Hey, it's a good song, actually. I like it a lot.
It's your last one.
It's your last one, though, but, the snare, bro. The snare.
Yeah, you got to get over that at some point, right?
I can't do it. It's heavy, though, but, yeah, it sits at number 11.
Great riffs.
Great riffs, good stuff. Number 10, Eat My Bitch.
Eat My Bitch.
It's funny because when I heard that song back then, bitch, I always would say that for a while. You got me there. It's not a great opening track song. I don't like it as much as on a Reload. Fuel a lot better. It's there.
It works. It works.
There's not very good opening.
There's some cool elements to it. The riffs are good, and it's very punchy. It's very punchy, and it's got Kirk's first ever slide solo, which is a total left turn, but kind of what Metallica was doing.
Well,
was it right?
Name My Bitches on Reload. No, Load. Sorry, Load. My bad.
It's kind of what Metallica was doing on Load. You hear the solo, and you're like, oh, okay, this is like it's like a swing, a southern rock swing kind of like guitar solo, just very like country rock, southern rock, and it has a swing element to it too, which is just different. Nobody was doing that, at least not in no thrash metal bands or former thrash metal bands were doing that, and it obviously rubbed a lot of people the wrong.
Coming off of fucking Black Album into that,
right? Well, and it obviously rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but that's what makes it cool. That's what makes it, I guess, for lack of a better word, artistic. It's just different. They were trying new things, and I embrace that. Even if I don't like it all the time, it's fine. I don't have to get too caught up in my own needs.
There you go. That's my number 10. Number 9, Hardwired from the Hardwired Self-Destruct album. It's a cool, fast-pacing song. It has its moments.
It's a pretty great opening to an album, I would say.
It is. It's. I don't like the lyrics and the vocals too much.
I kind of like them.
I'm not. But I mean, it hits you really hard right off the bat.
And I kind of like the blunt and the bluntness of the lyrics.
Yeah.
We're so fucked, shit out of luck, hardwired to self-destruct. I'm like, okay, I'm in it.
You're there.
I get it. I get what I'm picking up. What you're putting down, James.
There you go.
I get it.
So that was 9. Number 8. We'll go 72 seasons on the new album. It's again we start with the bass.
Yeah. Much better than the intro
really well
they had on
too. It's
YouTube.
It's a good building song as well.
It's a great opener.
Great opener. Love the track. My number 7. Give me feel, give me fire, give me what I desire.
You just got the lyric wrong. That which I desire.
That which. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is.
Well, see, because give me what I desire does not flow as well. Give me that which I desire. You know, it's the cadence, right?
That what I desire.
You need the cadence, right?
I don't know.
This is why you're not a singer.
No, I try. But
it's all about the timing,
and cadence, and everything like that. Fuck, I love that track, dude. It bangs hard. It's a good.
By the
live.
way, thank you. I was getting it live. Holy shit! Because they play it faster.
So much faster.
Yeah,
live.
It's
great
just
live.
nuts. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Live.
Great live. I'm kind of losing track on my numbers here. It's number 6. Enter Sandman from the Black Album.
Enter the Sandman.
Yes, I mean it's classic, and again that song builds really good. I kind of forgot that album started with that. So I thought it was Sad But True. I haven't listened to the album.
Sad But True is number 2.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the album forever, so I thought Sad But True.
If we ever get to great number 2 tracks, Sad But True's up there.
Very much.
But they have, oh my god, do they have some great number 2 tracks though? So even though I say Sad But True's up there, it might still be low on the list because their number 2 tracks are. There might be a better countdown than the number 1 tracks because the number 2 tracks are pretty ridiculous.
Oh my god! Enter Sandman, fucking amazing track to open that album. My number 5. I had this number 5. I kind of wanted to slide it down to like lower, but like this, I recently re-listened to it again. It is heavy as hell. It's Fight Fire with Fire.
Yeah,
nasty as fuck. But it doesn't. It stays there. It doesn't go anywhere. It just stays nasty as fuck. To me, like when I first listened to it a couple times way back when, it reminded me of you're trying to be Slayer. This is Slayer song,
but better written.
Yeah. James's vocals too is just it's pretty much straight to the point. There's nothing too crazy about it. That's kind of why it reminded me a little bit of a Slayer
because
song.
when you see like when I say better written, there's elements of that song that just flow better, like because it has the freneticness of Slayer, but it's more controlled. And then you also have the musicality there, like the harmony guitar lines that come after the solo.
Exactly,
like this is something
Slayer. Not at all.
And then the transitions, like the transition then back into the third verse,
the
double kick. It's like the way that it flows is just pure Metallica, and it's just something that's like Slayer was great. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't have that epic flow. It didn't work quite as well.
Opening track for Ride of Lightning just fucking
the acoustic intro too, the classical style acoustic intro. Like that's how many times has that been fucking ripped off and duplicated in the world of metal? Like it over and over and over again. We love bands like Shadows Fall, stuff like that. I mean, so many times.
But it's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it when bands do that sometimes.
And that's where, honestly, that's where it comes from. It really is 1984 right there. It's one of the best examples.
My number 4, I'm going to go with That Was Just Your Life.
Oh, actually, sorry. I'll get to it when I'm talking about mine.
You do. Number 4, That Was Just Your Life.
Number 4, huh?
Death Magnetic, right there.
Death Magnetic getting some love.
Yeah.
Love it. Great album.
That song, man. That Was Just Your Life. Again, another fucking amazing, cool intro into that song, and then it just fucking off.
7 minutes of shredding. Yeah, it's just like nastiness.
It's like, oh my! That coming off of Saint Anger.
Yeah,
and you hear that,
Well,
Fuck.
it's what always I used to always say about Death Magnetic is that's the album that Saint Anger wanted to be. And That Was Just Your Life is definitely like it's like okay, they mean business here.
Yes, they do. Fucking amazing opening track there. My number 3, Blackened. Oh, again, another
Blackened's
classic.
amazing.
Another fucking classic Metallica. They just they're known for their opening tracks.
Or their number 2 tracks, or their number 4 tracks. If we want to get into number 4 tracks, we can do that too.
Number 1. So again, the acoustic intro on Black. Or no, it's not.
It's a build.
The build.
It's a fade in. Fade in.
Fade in build.
A harmony guitar fade in.
Nasty as fuck. They were fucking kings on
one of the nastiest riffs ever too. That because it's not to get too technical into what's going on with the guitar playing, but the downstroke of the open but fast, and then the tail end of that just nasty. It's pure Hetfield right hand, like his trademark, what he's known for. That's a quintessential of that nasty downstroke riff, but then tail end of it has the alternate picking, and the technicality and the timing is perfect, and it's just mean as fuck. And then there's so many great things. The breakdown of that song is unmatchable. Coming out of the solo, where it does the syncopation with the drums. Because it's the main riff, but then they come back into the main riff, but now it's syncopated with the drums. And there's that little twist there that a lot of people miss. But it's what they were. It kind of goes to the complexity that they were going for with the And Justice for All album. Is there's that twist there where all of a sudden now the drums are on the upbeat and the guitars are on the downbeat, and then like if you don't pay really close attention, you might not catch it.
Yeah.
But then Lars, at the end of that, when they go back into the verse, hits a couple of splash, and then brings the drums back onto the downbeat. And it's a nice little twist there that's almost progressive. Something that Dream Theater or something like that would do. But it's really cool. It just adds another dimension to, if you're a total music nerd like I am, there's richness there. It's something else that you hear listening to it that you wouldn't hear otherwise.
There you go. That's my number 3. My number 2, Hit the Lights from Kill 'Em All. It's the start of them all. Fucking right off the bat, the build. Then the pitch scrape, the scrape
with
right.
That opening riff is just
nasty.
I mean, who knew at the time in 1983 that would become one of the most iconic opening riffs ever in the world?
And then the I love the verses and everything like that, but the solo section, dude, is nasty as fuck. And the fucking the bass line underneath the solo too is just. I tried learning that on bass. Yeah, I gave up.
Well, and just the riff, the dun 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 dun.
Before you go into the solo right there,
it's mind blowing. It's like hearing. It's like what I imagined being alive in 1970 and hearing the first Black Sabbath album. And we've
hearing that.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this before when we've talked about game changers on this show. We talked about the first Black Sabbath album, first Ozzy album, Kill 'Em All. We've talked about how they just changed the game, and were such big landmarks. And maybe people didn't even realize it at the time. With Kill 'Em All, nobody realized at the time except the underground. The underground did. It changed the metal world forever, but on an underground level that eventually bubbled up to the mainstream. But it took time to get there. But from the underground standpoint, everybody heard that and was like, what the fuck? It's like Iron Maiden on a lot of steroids.
Yeah.
A whole lot of steroids. So
that first track, you knew what the fuck you're getting into for the rest of the album. That's what's up. My number 1, obviously, Battery from Master of Puppets. I mean, I think we've talked about Battery. It's been on several of our lists. Always, and it's always number 1. There's a reason why it's always number 1, because probably Metallica's greatest fucking riffs, greatest fucking I'm not gonna say greatest song. I'm gonna ease my calm there.
Yeah.
But probably
enhance
one
your
of their
calm is what we're gonna do.
one of the greatest riffs on is that fucking song.
So one of the things I love about that song is the riff juxtaposed against what he's singing, because Hetfield is singing and playing that riff at the same time. Because he's not the lead player. Kirk is the lead guitar player, but Hetfield is the lead rhythm player. Like when you like the primary guitar that you hear rhythm wise is Hetfield's, because it's his technique, it's his nastiness, his personality, it's his expression. And so hearing him play that main riff while singing that vocal line in the verse is kind of stupid, because it's like right brain, left brain, because they're on total two different cadences, but they come together at the end. And it's so hard to do that. It takes so much practice. Now, that's what it boils down to, is just practice. But when you just listen to the song and you're just jamming out to it, you might not really get what's going on there. But
once you pick up guitar or even a bass,
the guitar,
too, and
so
try and
on the guitar he's going, and then his vocals are going, it's totally different rhythms, totally different cadence, but they all line up in the end based on the time signature. And doing something like that is really, really difficult.
It's hard.
It's really difficult. At the same time, right? Doing it at the same time. And that's something I've always appreciated with that song is when I started playing guitar and I learned how to play that song on guitar, I was like, okay, I can play this. But then I was like, I can't play and sing this at the same time. This is really fucking hard.
I'm gonna need someone to help.
Yeah, I need a guy that just sings and I can just play guitar. And then we can, But that's two guys doing what in that band one guy does.
Gnarly. That's my number one. Is Battery. I wouldn't change a thing about that at all. Fantastic. Chris, what is your list? We don't got no honorable mentions on this one. This is straight up 11
So I'm going
songs.
to kind of include my honorable mentions in the list.
What honorable fucking Lulu album here? What the
No, stop it. So I'm going to go Garage Inc. as my last pick. Free Speech for the Dumb. I don't really like it. Kind of. It's Electric it kicks things off much better.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go after that. I'm going to go Ain't My Bitch.
My Bitch.
I do like and appreciate the song.
It's a good song. It's just not their best
I do
song.
like and appreciate it, and I like elements of it. But to me, it's at the bottom of the list. I think all the rest of them are pretty much better. After that, I'm going to go Frantic.
I mean, you had that.
Yeah, because I do appreciate a lot of elements of Frantic.
Yeah.
I think it's got a lot going for it, really, other than the production, which is well documented. Everybody talks about that ad fucking awesome, so we don't need to really get into it. But there's a lot of really cool riffs in there, and the intensity. The intensity is really what to me what makes that song better than something like "Ain't My Bitch." Is there's an intensity there in the playing and Hetfield's vocals, and it was just really refreshing to hear them play with that intensity again after the Load album and to a certain extent the Black album. Speaking of the Black album,
you're gonna put that.
Yeah, Sandman. Here's my issue with Sandman. It's just played out. Nothing more than that.
I mean, but it's still a great opening.
It's a classic, but it's just played out. That's all. It's just a little played out.
All right.
I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm not gonna hate on it and say it's terrible or anything, but it is a little bit played out to me, and I could just kind of, I could kind of do without it. Like if I listen to the Black album now, I'm skipping that. Skipping it. I'm not skipping any of the rest of them. I'm not even.
I wouldn't skip that, but. I mean,
no, but that's not the opening track.
It's played out though, but it's still
no. Sabbath True is amazing. Like it's not nearly as played out as Sandman. Sandman is.
All right.
Sabbath True is not even close. Hardwired is my next one. Hardwired.
Number 4. All right.
So I like Hardwired. I think it's a great opening track, but it's not going to make it into my top 10. Let's say, just because I don't know. It doesn't quite have that thing that puts it over the top.
Yeah, it does.
It's
a quick song too. It's like
It's
A
fun.
little bit 3+ minute song.
Yeah, and it's fun. And
Yeah.
it is a very good opening to the
Yeah.
album. There's something that's not quite next level for me. Let's see. I think after that, I'm gonna go Garage Days. Another honorable mention. And I'm gonna go the Garage Days Revisited EP. It's a classic. If you know Metallica, you know Garage Days. I'm gonna go Helpless. This almost could be higher on the list, honestly, because it's fucking awesome. It's a cover of a Diamond Head song, and I just love the way the track flows. I love the riffs, and I love the progression of it. And it's just mean. It's just mean, and the way Metallica plays it, they play it with that trademark kind of nastiness.
Yeah.
They always add, especially when they play Diamond Head songs. They were all huge Diamond Head fans. Diamond Head is probably the foremost band responsible for Metallica's sound. So when they play "Am I Evil," they play "It's Electric," they play "Helpless," like they play it with this ferocity. The Prince is another one. They play it with this ferocity that it's just tell how much they love the song, and it really comes through. And I notice it.
All right.
Next, I think I'm gonna go. That Was Just Your Life.
Okay. You're a little bit lower than me.
Yeah, I love the album.
Yeah.
I do love the album. Death Magnetic is one of my favorite Metallica albums. It's great. And That Was Just Your Life is an awesome, fun song.
Yeah.
Lots of twists and turns, lots of cool shit going on. I just feel like maybe the melody is lacking a little bit, just a touch. If I'm splitting hairs, that's the only thing that's not going to
Verses
put
are
it over the
pretty
top for
quick,
me.
fast.
It's punchy and it's
Yeah.
great. There's a lot, and I love the twists and turns. I love the length of the song. Like it never gets tired to me.
Yeah.
And I love all the progressions that it goes through. It's awesome. But I think in the middle is kind of where it belongs. Next, I'm gonna go 72 Seasons. So I think
probably middle of the road.
I think 72 Seasons to me is just a touch better than That Was Just Your Life because of the melody, right? Because it just feels a little bit more song like to me instead of jam like.
Okay.
It flows. It's a little bit more
the chorus
cohesive.
in 72 Seasons is really catchy.
Yes, absolutely. And there's more hooks there. Not that
yeah.
hooks mean everything, because they certainly don't. I mean, we're talking about thrash metal in a lot of these songs. So,
yeah.
But one thing that always separated Metallica to me from their peers, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, and others of the like, Exodus, Testament, even like Angel Witch and Death Angel, stuff like that. What always separated them from me was their songwriting ability. And 72 Seasons to me is a great example of that because it has that punchiness, that thrashiness, but also has songwriting. There's that extra element there that kind of puts it over the top from other things. Next, I am going to go. We're starting to get into the nitty gritty. I think I'm going to go Fuel.
Okay. Fuel's good. Good. Had that. I don't even know what number.
I feel like I should go. I feel like I should go higher on my list. Yeah. I feel like it should go over the next. I feel like it should, but I guess I'm just not quite there. I'm almost there. And there's just certain elements that I like about the next one a little bit more than Fuel. But Fuel to me is such a great song, and especially live. We talked about live. Live, it's such another intense. It's such an intense monster, but it's such a well written song, and it's so catchy. But the riffs are still great, and it's so fun to play. And there's just this power to it that it just moves. It's just a freight train, and I'd never get tired of that song ever. Next, I am going to go with Fight Fire with Fire. And so this is the one that I thought maybe Fuel could go over this, but I can't quite do it. One, because of the classical style guitar intro, which there's such a legacy for that. We talked about how many bands in metal just totally ape that over and over and over and over and over again. It was so groundbreaking and so meaningful and added so much to the song because it adds this explosion comes after it. And so another dimension of this song and this album really that I find interesting that talking to, this is a while back, previous singer that I used to play with. And he was talking up Slayer. We talked about how this relates to Slayer, and talking about how Angel of Death Raining Blood opens with the double kick. Right.
It doesn't open with that?
Yeah.
Like
with a double kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. And then it goes.
Yeah.
Opens with that. And before going into the first verse, and he was saying how nobody else was doing that at the time. And I'm like,
Excuse me while
it's
whip that song out.
Yeah, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So like that album came out in 86. Ride the Lightning came out in 84, 2 years prior. So 2 whole years, which in thrash metal, 2 years is a long time. A lot happened in 2 years. Because 2 years later, in 86, Master of Puppets came out. And and a landmark album by Anthrax and by Megadeth. A lot of things happened in 2 years is an eternity back then. And I was thinking about By Fire with Fire coming out of talked about the harmony guitar line, which is something that Metallica was very good at that a lot of their peers didn't do. Even though if they did harmony guitar lines, it wasn't quite as musical. Players certainly did that. But then they come out of that with this same double kick that you get in Angel Death. I'm like, okay, that was done. It's been done. And if you listen to Trapped Under Ice, the entire song is double kick at almost the same speed. The entire song. Like it only lets up for the breakdown in the middle. So the reason why I'm saying that is because there are elements here that were so like mind blowing at the time that you almost hear better on the remastered version, by the way.
Yeah.
But you can still hear it back then, and it was almost kind of like there's so much going on here that was groundbreaking. That's kind of what puts it over Fuel. I feel like Fuel is a better song. But there's so much here in Fight Fire with Fire that is just like mind-blowingly awesome that it just kind of I can't deny it. I can't deny it.
All right. Good explanation.
So
I like that.
Number 3 is going to be Blackened.
Okay.
Blackened, like the top 2 are just like Blackened can easily be number 1 because of the way it's written and the way it's played. It's so nasty. And it's just like it's one of those. It's a quintessential metal song in a lot of ways to me, because of the twists and turns that it goes through. Because it's not just a straightforward kind of Black Sabbath groovy song or an Iron Maiden punchy song. It has the signature Metallica grit and aggression, speed, but then slow it down, go groovy, twists, turns, changes, solo, harmony lines. And then I mentioned like the off time stuff with the syncopation with the drums when it comes back into the main riffs, and then it drops back down into the downbeat, going back into the third verse, and there's just so many things going on, but it flows so perfectly.
Yeah.
Every transition is so perfect, even though there's so much going on. It never feels tired. It's just everything. Yeah. It's just an assault on the senses, but in a way that's so listenable. And over and over again, you can go back to that song and just never, ever get bored or tired with it. And there's definitely something to be said for that.
And that's not easy to do. It's number 3 too on the list. Metallica can get better.
So number 2, it's Kill 'Em All and Hit the Lights. Talk about game changer, because you hear the way that song opens and then plays out and just start to finish. It's like you could just, before it gets to the Four Horsemen, which is another great number 2 track, by the way, you could just pause after hearing that song and be like, okay, I guess I'm done. We're good. Oh, sorry. That's my fault. My fault. Spillage. Spillage. Why do you put it so close to my big hands? Spillage. I'm going to keep talking. Because we're not going to edit this out, because this is just how we roll. We make messes and we just fuck it up, but that's okay because it's a low-rent YouTube show. Anyway, so fun to clean that up. Yes, Hit the Lights on Kill 'Em All. We talked about how amazing it was. Hearing that opening to an album, it's a total mind blown. It's like it's Iron Maiden or Diamond Head, but with so much more attitude and aggression and heaviness. And that epic fucking guitar solo at the end, introducing Kirk to the world. And yes, I've heard Dave Mustaine's version, and it doesn't. Oh, wow. Put me under the spotlight there, why don't you? Yes, because I used to have like the early recordings with Mustaine. It doesn't compare.
Stain destroys.
Destroys the goodness of it. Like it sounds like shit when he. Anyway, just a bunch of incoherent nothingness. No, it's not that bad, but it's not as good. It's a great opening track. Okay. Just everything about it. Number one, I mean, our top three ends up being the same here. I'm going Battery.
Yeah.
So Battery is just to me the quintessential thrash song. If you're at a Metallica show and that song comes on, you get in the circle pit, it just feels it's the quintessential thrash song. The acoustic guitar opening is so Fight Fire with Fire had like this classical feel to it. Battery has this dark, ominous, impending doom feel to it. That acoustic intro. Talk about again something that's ripped off by so many bands on so many albums, so many songs. It's just again also 86 that coming out of the solo with the super thrash part with the double kick. Again, like it's just so mean. It's so mean and so heavy, but so well written. There's melody in there. The cadence, like I mentioned, that he's doing with his vocals that juxtaposed against what he's doing with the guitar. Again, it's more syncopation. His vocals are on the upbeat and his guitar is on the downbeat, and he's doing that at the same time. It's fucking ridiculous. And the breakdown before the solo, just everything. Like it's almost the perfect thrash song, and then it goes right in, into Master.
Oh yeah.
And then I mean, we talk about one of the greatest number 2 songs of all time. Such a great start to an album, a 1-2 punch to any album ever. Rock, hard rock, metal, whatever, it doesn't matter. And it's hard to deny Battery. It almost
really is.
It commands your attention. It almost grabs you by the throat and says, "Motherfucker, you are putting me number 1 or else."
It's like I'm tired of putting you number 1, Battery. I'm tired. I want hit the lights.
It just commands your attention. Like it commands it. And there's something to be said for that. To have such a powerful song that no matter how many times you listen to it, it doesn't matter. It commands your attention. When we used to skateboard in the driveway, we would have that song literally on repeat. And it didn't matter. Like it never got old. It just always commanded your attention. And it's lightning in a bottle.
It's a funny thing about that song, really. It's at my job, we have radios that need batteries changed, right? So whenever someone says, "Hey, can you give me a battery?" Battery, here you go, battery. I just love that. I love doing that. No one knows. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
they should know. What the fuck is wrong with them? They should know.
Like that.
That's it, folks.
That's it, folks.
Segment's running a little long.
Lesson here, folks, is Metallica has great opening tracks to open their albums, except for maybe 2. Hearsay. But they know how to open a fucking track. If you're in a band,
they don't open an
album
with a track. With a track.
They know how to open.
They open an album with a track.
Like, open with a track.
Believe it or not, an album starts with track number 1. There's something there.
Yeah. Bands out there starting off. If you need a opening track to an album, you know where to look. Metallica. Make sure you.
Well, yeah, because I mean, how many? Again, all the bands listen to is like, we need to do a Battery or Fight Fire with Fire opening here.
Yeah. Here you go. Hopefully, you like our lists for opening tracks of Metallica albums. If you don't like it too fucking bad, put your own list in the comments. I don't care what you say, or maybe I do. I don't know.
Are you drinking non-alcoholic beer? Because it kind of sounds like you're not.
Maybe I'm not. Not, I don't know.
You're cheating.
I'm cheating. I don't care what I say. Or do I? On to the next segment. Movies and TV shows. There you go.